Yo, 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 everybody, welcome in, welcome in. It's time for a little horror chat on a Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Hump day. That meme is still funny. I don't care what anyone says. We're going to have some fun talking a little horror today, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of fun updates have come throughout the week. Ton of new stuff on Final Destination, ton of new stuff on Saw 11. Just posted a big video on that today. Let us know your thoughts on that. But in general, it's a general stream. So anything you're excited about, if it's Scream 7, if it's Terrifier 4, perhaps, you want to throw something out about that too, let it be known. Throw it out there in the chat. We'll see what's up. And if we get 10 super chats in the first hour here, we will be going for another hour as we usually do. If I can type that out fast enough, though, I'll go for another hour. I can't type things and talk at the same time. Multitasking, not my specialty. Not my specialty. Although I guess I am. I guess I'm kind of good at multitasking a little bit, because I am over on TikTok now, where I'm doing different videos than you'll see even here. So just throwing that out there. If you want to follow me on TikTok, check it out. Why not? Why the heck not, you know? That's kind of my argument for a lot of this stuff. Just why the heck not? Just go ahead and do it. Just psh. Sounds like I'm trying to like sell you something bad on a street corner or something. Come on. Just try it one time. It'll be fun. No, that's terrible. I'm kidding. King Matthew III is with us saying, "What's up, Jake? How are you doing today?" I'm fantastic. How are you, my friend? I'm very well, quite well. Your theory for Scream 7 is that Ghostface uses Sydney's daughter to lure Sydney into a trap, like how Roman used Gail and Dewey, and 3 to lure Sydney to the house. That traps like that do work on her, as we know. Well, I kind of like that. I kind of like that quite a bit. We've been talking a lot about Scream on the page lately. Lots of Scream videos have gone up. One of the big things that have come up, though, is that I just don't know if a Sydney chase scene is going to work for me at this point. Like, I think the horror has to be derived from her loved ones at this point. They're not going to kill Sydney. They're being straight up about it at every given moment or question. They're like, "We'll never kill Sydney Prescott. It's not going to happen." And like, yeah, I agree. Don't do that. That would suck. But at the same time, you can't tell. At the same time, you can't tell me you're not going to kill the protagonist of your movie. Like, that's just it's a really tough thing that I can't. It's non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable thing. You just shouldn't do that for any protagonist of a horror movie. Don't tell me you're going to keep him alive. That spoils the whole ending of the film. So I'm a little bummed out about that. I hope that they do what you're talking about, King Matthew, where the horror is generated from the potential death of a very close loved one. That, to me, is the way to build tension in Scream 7, because there's just far too many rules established to do it any other way, unfortunately. If they think they can still build tension by chasing Sydney around a house or something, I don't know. I'm just going to be thinking about that Kevin Williamson quote the whole time. Call me anal, call me neurotic. I don't care. I'm right. Listen, that's just one of those things. You can't, this is something, a hill I'll die on. You can't tell me the protagonist of your film is not going to die and expect me to still feel tension when they're being chased around with somebody with a knife. Like, I know it's not going to happen. Sorry. It's just non-negotiable. I don't like that quote's floating around again. I don't like that they doubled down on that quote recently. It's going to really kill a lot of the tension in this movie for me. But hopefully they understand and they know what they're doing, and they're going to build tension with the other characters. Again, hill I'm going to die on. I'm really sorry. Just there's not going to be tension. You can't come out and say, we're making a new slasher film. The final girl doesn't die. It's like, what? Fuck you. Fuck off with that. What are you talking about? Crazy. But I hope it's that. Sorry I'm spending so much time on this, but I'm very passionate about that. Flamingo Productions saying hi there. Hi, hello. Picky Piggy, hi Jake. Hi, Picky Piggy. How are you? What's up, my friends? Official Mig on Tiv is saying, Jake, I finally have come up with something for my first book. Very nice, my friend. I hope it's something good. I hope it's something nasty. If you want to share with the class, you can. If you don't want to, if you want to keep that little cool idea secretive, though, no worries there. Richard J. Skarenki, almost his full legal name out there, saying, let's get ready for another horror stream. Pumpkin spice season draws near. It's already spooky season. Come on now. It's basically fall. It is fall. The last day of summer was this past Sunday. We just got the announcement that pumpkin spice drinks are coming back to Starbucks. So it's spooky season. Fight me, baby. I love it. Get ready to carve some pumpkins. Drink some apple cider, watch some spooky movies. It's all coming up. I love it. Maybe I'm just too excited for spooky season that I need it to be right now. I need it to be happening at this day and age. At this time and place in the universe. It needs to be happening. Candyman franchise or Final Destination? As a franchise, I think I like Final Destination more, but I think I like the original Candyman over all the Final Destination movies. I don't know if that's a hot take, but that original Candyman's like a masterpiece, dude. Ooh, so good. Love it. Doesn't get talked about enough. Candyman's such a great slasher villain. People don't talk about Candyman, man. I feel like it's only because, you know, the first one's really good and then the other sequels are kind of like whatever. I think that's kind of why. I think that's kind of what it is. But that first movie, it's good, man. Samantha Robinson, thank you for being a member. And do I have something exciting to tell you? I have finally watched Bone Hill Road. It was very good. I liked it quite a bit. It was really interesting. You could tell it was low budget, but I enjoyed it a bit. It had some really fun things going on with it. Felt like it had some old school werewolf effects, which was cool. I liked that. Overall, pretty solid watch. I appreciate the recommendation, Samantha. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for the rec. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking horror. I love it. Aim Punch is saying, Mr. Jake Chat, how do you do? I do very well this evening. Let me tell you, things are good. We're vibing out here. We're making things happen. Posting a lot of videos, posting a lot of shorts. I'm on my 5th cup of coffee today. Tiffany Johnson is saying, hi, Jake. Hi, Tiffany. Shawnee Mackey is saying, hi, Jake. Hi, Shawnee. How you fellas doing? David Primero is saying The Descent 3 is in the works. What do you think about that? I haven't heard anything about that. That'd be wild if it was. I wouldn't be shocked. Neil Marshall hasn't exactly had a hit lately, so I wouldn't mind a Descent 3. 2 is a completely unnecessary sequel, I will say, and it doesn't really do a whole lot that I love. If I'm being completely honest, it's a little mid. It's a little kind of loses the sauce from the first one real fast. But I wouldn't, if they made it, I would watch it. I'd watch The Descent 3. There's one really cool thing about The Descent 2, and it's how it ends, which adds a little bit of extra lore to that original movie, which I thought was cool. So if they wanted to build off of that topic for The Descent 3, I'd actually be into that. Riley Rage also with us here saying, what it do, Jakey Poo? That's what they call me. Thoughts in 2024's survival horror Don't Move. Dude, I watched like half of that and I never finished it. I'm being so real with you. I didn't even like dislike it. Nothing really gripped me about that one. Nothing really just had me in on that full nothing really gripped me hard. That sounds so the way I'm describing this sounds like it's not a movie. It sounds like we're describing some other horrible nasty thing here, but Don't Move. It was okay. It was all right. I got halfway through it and I just never finished it. I don't know. Raggedy Man, thank you for being a channel member, saying hi all. Ayo, welcome in. Gory Tiger, what up, my dude? Welcome in, dude. Laurie Strode versus Sidney Prescott versus Andy Barclay. That's a child. I think if Sidney Prescott had to fight a child, I think she would win that. Same with Tommy Jarvis, depending on which Tommy Jarvis we're talking about. Wait, hang on. Can it be child Tommy Jarvis and child Andy Barclay versus like Laurie Strode and Sidney from their first movies, respectively? That's a little more of a fair fight. That's like 2 teenagers versus 2 little kids. I still think the teen girls win that, though. I'm just going to be honest. I think they would maul those children. It would be a horrifying scene. Who else is with us? We got Riddlemaster66 saying Jordan Peele is making a new film. Yes, he is. It's coming out at the end of next year. So we still got a ways away until we get that one. We don't know a title. We don't know virtually anything about it except for the release date, which is, I believe, Christmas of next year, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it supposed to be like Christmas of last year and then they pushed it 2 years or something like that? I just watched one of my old shorts where I'm like, guys, they're dropping Nosferatu and Jordan Peele's new movie on the same day. And I'm like, that never fucking happened. What the hell was I talking about? That must have been an update from like a long time ago. Some weird thing. But yeah, I don't know. Jordan Peele, his new movie is coming out sometime next year, hopefully. And I'm excited for it. I'll tell you what, I so far he has not missed. All 3 of his movies, bangers across the board. I like some more than others, of course, but mostly good stuff. Mostly good stuff there. Like it. A Troll Campbell is saying, what's up, everybody? Almost October, the best month of the year. I'm excited for October. It's going to be fun. We got a lot of fun movies coming out that month, too. That first weekend especially is jam-packed. Like, there's just movie after movie after movie that first weekend. I don't know how I'm going to cover it all. It's going to be insane. But we have we have a lot of good movies coming out pretty much every weekend, basically until the end of the year. Like, I'm not even remotely kidding. It's every weekend there's something big coming out in terms of horror or sci-fi. This week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get on my freaking hands and knees and beg you to go to the theater and go see The Toxic Avenger. This is a movie that is getting high praise from critics. It's an unrated horror film coming to theaters, which is like wild that that's a thing here in the 2020s. And some of these movies are even making a fuck ton of money, which is crazy. So please go see The Toxic Avenger. I think it could be like our new Terrifier movie. It could start a whole new like kind of crazy franchise. Obviously, The Toxic Avenger is already a franchise, but it's something that's been kind of dead in the water for a very long time now. So if Macon Blair here can kind of bring it back and do something fresh with it, I'd be very into that. I'd be very down for a some sort of Cineverse sequel to this. If it's good, of course, if it's good. I'm seeing it very late tomorrow night after our stream over on the gaming channel, and I cannot wait. Some of the things we've seen from it already are pretty damn awesome. Like, we literally got a picture of Toxie's wiener. I'm not kidding. Like, they are advertising that they're being straight up. They're like, this is an unrated horror movie. You get to see the monster dong. And I'm just like, sign me up. If there's two words that could describe horror in 2025, oddly enough, it's monster dong. There's been a lot of monster dong. 28 years later, Toxic Avenger, baby. That's literally two movies. It's weird that it happened twice, though. You know, maybe not every film has had a monster penis in it, but it's weird that it's happened more than once. And Nosferatu is almost a 2025 film, so there was also monster dong in that one as well. I just thought about that. Now that you know what's on my brain, let's get let's get back to the chat. Wow, did I just lose 3 people talking about Monster Dong for 3 minutes? Crazy. Paula Fitzhenry saying, sorry, I'm late. It's all good. Thank you for being here now. We appreciate you. Raggedy Man is saying, I'm hoping it's a massive trolls. Wow, we were talking about monster dongs. Now we're talking about troll dongs. What's going on? Massive trolls, and they are like, psych, Sydney opening kill. Oh, God. Oh, you want the studio to burn to the ground? Zemiftable, something with an X, saying, hey Jake, how are you? Who do you want to be Ghostface in Scream 7? I've talked a little bit about this before. I think it would be kind of fun to do a duality thing where Sidney Prescott and her daughter are obviously going to be a focus of this film, so make Ghostface like also kind of like two women, you know, kind of like an older matriarch style character who's like leading the show with her little accomplice being one of the kids, one of the younger girls. That could be interesting to me because you'd have like a duality thing between what is likely going to be our central relationship of the film versus our two ghost faces, dark reflections of each other. Nothing new for this franchise. Literally the words dark reflections, where that even comes from, is Scream 3, when we're talking about the tease of who Roman is the entire time. Her secret brother that we never knew about until just now. I could vibe with that. I think that could be a really interesting twist. We've never done two female ghost faces in the same movie. So I think also in the spirit of trying to do something different with different kinds of relationships between killers and protagonists, whatever, I think that would be a fun way to spin it. I'd be into something like that. So that's like my favorite. There's little tiny clues that maybe that could be what's going on here. I'm not 100% sure, but it's kind of what I want to happen more than anything. David Primero saying, it will be good if in the end of Scream 7, Gail goes to the attic of the house and stares at the window. Are we doing like a Halloween Kills ending here where she just kind of stares out the window and breathes? No, I'm kidding. And gets killed by another ghost face, like what happens to Laurie's daughter in Halloween Kills. Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't read the whole thing. Yeah. Wow. Weird. I that was such a bummer in Halloween Kills, man. I was so bummed out about that. I was like, no, why would they do this? Poor Karen. Jeez. I love Halloween Kills, though. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills are so much fun to me. I love those two. Mr. Rick, thank you for being a channel member, saying, I can't wait for Saturday. Dairy Queen's having pumpkin pie blizzard. My fat senses are tingling. Oh, that sounds good. I'm into some of that. Love me a good blizzard when I can get one. Not sponsored. Alex Sierra is saying, if they do decide to do the tsunami cruise ship disaster for Final Destination 7, for the twist, what if the person who had the premonition of the disaster isn't the main character and was a side character instead? Like the premonition character dies like early on kind of thing. That could be different. I like that idea quite a bit. I'm really not against that, because you can almost like have a character die with the secrets of what happened during the premonition, and the other characters just kind of have to figure it out. I pitched a theory, in my latest video, talking about how they could spin the premonition in different ways. But that's another thing I feel like they could do. Just do something different with the knowledge of the premonition. Like maybe they don't show it exactly how it happens to you. And that could make for a really good twist or a really good surprise later on. The premonition character is purposefully keeping something from the rest of the group for whatever reason. I pitched the idea of like, well, they were never actually part of the accident, but had the premonition to know not to, for people not to do that and die. That could, I don't know, something along those lines I think could be fun, where it's like you don't see the premonition, but you see it happen. You just see it happen. You get the disaster and the death, which that's what we're here for with Final Destination. Let's be real. You got to have some of that in there, but could we, like, is there a way that we can keep that from the audience in order to have some kind of twist later on and some sort of big reveal as more things get revealed about what our premonition character actually knows? That could be fun. I like that. I like that idea. Like the character dies or something later on, and they just have to figure out what was going on in the premonition. Maybe there's clues that we like flash back to. Maybe the character said something that was like, oh wait, this thing's supposed to happen, and it's too late. Everybody dies. That could be fun. Have I seen the Meat Canyon video about pumpkin spice? Of course I have. Oh, I love Meat Canyon. Did he post I think he posted something new recently. I haven't caught up on a lot of his videos. In the last couple of, like, whatever his last thing was. I'm actually kind of curious what his last big video was, because he posted something and I'm like, this streamer's never wrong. Yeah, I totally missed whatever that video. I have not seen that one, but I saw the gooning video before that, which is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. My God. But yeah, he's got a few new videos out this year. I love his stuff. He cracks me up. Cody's with us too. NRU Cody, thank you for being a channel member, my friend. Saying, what's up, Jake and Chad? Give us more Chicken Man. Imagine if Chicken Man kills Jake. You're not going to believe this, Cody. That is me underneath that poultry mask in that short. Hopefully we'll do some more Chicken Man soon. I think I have another little project in the works that I'm excited to get into sometime soon. Don't want to say anything yet about it though. Nerdy Mastermind is saying, do you think we still get Thanksgiving too? Eli said he has plans for multiple movies every year, and then he announces this horror section company, and we haven't had any updates since. I think that we're likely going to get Thanksgiving too, but Eli's focus right now is, producing and putting out all these horror movies through his horror section company. I mentioned this on the last stream, and I'm actually going to look it up now because I want to bring it up. There's another movie coming from them very soon. Obviously, Jimmy and Stiggs just ran in theaters for a little while. If you got to see that, it honestly was pretty good. I don't think it was great, but it was fun. It was a really interesting low budget DIY style horror. You could tell the whole thing is in this dude's apartment. But with that, if you keep that in mind, it's like, okay, that's actually kind of impressive what you were able to do with just this one little location to shoot your whole movie in. But there's a new movie from them called Dream Eater that I think is coming out in like a month or something like that, and it's a found footage movie. Actually has a pretty solid trailer. I was pretty impressed by it. And if you saw some of the fake trailers, those were also very fun. So Dream Eater is coming next from them. Again, I just feel like Eli Roth is busy with a lot of the things happening with this company as of right now. But I'm sure Thanksgiving 2 is moving forward sometime soon. We should get an update on it. I hope soon. Hopefully soon. We heard from Nell Verlag that they were going to shoot like now, basically. Sometime right around now to finally get that done. I wonder if they just are shooting it. We don't know. We have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Hopefully we get some sort of big update soon. Would be nice. We got Kyle the Pro 360, Northrup, the king of YouTube. What a name. I am a big fan. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for talking a little horror with us. Wes Carpenter Flakes, thanks for being a member, saying, finishing up the book. I'm on the Scream 7 part now. Oh, let me know if you get into anything special there. Let us know. You're also saying Williamson says to Campbell he gave Sydney a real conflict. He gave her a real life family, real life obstacles, and then someone gets killed. But it's not going to be as violent as 6. I hope it's more violent than 6. 6, we're always talking here about how 6 was violent, but it didn't have as many kills as some of the previous entries. I hope we can get that. I hope we can get some violence, some actual kills. Little best of both worlds action here between what Scream 6 was able to accomplish and maybe something from the past as well. I will say I wanted more like big chase sequences, tension building and stuff from some of the later entries. And can we flavor that with some brutal kills right at the end? Ghostface finally catches up and then bam, something crazy happens. That's what I'm hoping for. A Credits, thank you for being a member, saying that gooning video was awful. I'm a sicko who likes gross videos, and even that one was too much for me. I'm just like, this is so this is disgusting, dude. What is happening here? I had to turn away a few times. That was upsetting. Hey, Greenwich, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a member. Scary Guy 123 saying hi. Hi, Scary Guy. What's up? What's up? You're not scary around here. We appreciate you. Jay Tinsel is saying, is Jason and Michael as characters better than their movies? Maybe. I think there's an argument for Michael. Michael's a really interesting concept, and I don't know if all the movies really live up to that. I think when you have a character like Michael or Jason who's like almost really, just inexplicable, like just this impossible evil, there's this sense to want to explain it, to give some backstory where you don't really need that. That's the fun of it, is the mystery of who this character is and what's happening with them. I think when you try to explain something like that, that's where it starts to fall through. That's where it starts to become something that is no fun anymore. And there's so many times in the Halloween franchise where they've given us an answer that's just not as good as what our own brains can cook up. So I think you always got to keep that mystique while still finding ways to tell new stories. You can, basically horror in a lot of senses is like a blank canvas with a few little strokes of paint on it. That's how I like to explain it. And if you paint the full picture, it's, exactly what it is. And now it's no longer effective. So I think just keep horror, keep your, like, the thing that's terrifying about your movie, your project, whatever, as a blank canvas with a few strokes of paint on it, maybe an outline, give you a sense of what this could be, but not the full thing. So that to me is so important. I feel like when it comes to horror, Michael Myers, spitting example of this. He's just this thing that you can't kill, pure evil. Dr. Loomis is trying to tell us that this whole time, and no one wants to listen because there is no way to explain it. He spent years of his life trying to figure it out, and even he can't. That's the brilliance of something like Michael Myers. And when you have filmmakers try to just explain away everything about it, I feel like they're just missing the point. That's why I don't like these new Strangers movies. Like, I love a good slasher flick, but man, these movies, it seems like the point of these new Stranger flicks are just to explain away everything about the Strangers, and it's just like, that's a fundamental misunderstanding of what works so well about them. Jason Voorhees is actually here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, and he's talking, which is a little out of character for him. But JV is saying, why did you take my camp sign? I'm so sorry. It looked cool. I wanted to keep it on the set. If you want it back, I'll give it to you. Just please don't kill me. I'm coming back from the dead for a new movie. I hope you are. We need it, man. We need it. David, thank you for the $2, my friend. Appreciate you. Have I seen the trailer for Bone Lake and Run? And Run. I don't know if there's a new movie called Run. Hang on. Run trailer 2025. Yeah, it comes up. Oh, I like the... Holy shit. You want to talk about Monster Dong? Jesus Christ. I have not seen this trailer yet. I have seen the trailer for Bone Lake. Jesus, everything is revolving around wieners today. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, Bone Lake looks fun. It looks interesting. It's about two couples. You've kind of heard this scenario before in a lot of modern horror. Two couples go to an Airbnb, book it at the same time, and they decide, hey, we're just gonna, this is fine. It's not a big deal at all. We're just gonna hang out together. No problems here. And then, of course, shit goes wrong. Thank you, Madison. Appreciate that reminder. But honestly, there's some really cool little teases of what could happen. I feel like nothing is completely explained away. I feel like there's still some mystique to whatever the hell Bone Lake is about. Some boning seems to be happening at that lake, but besides that, it's more than just that. But I'm excited for it. It looks fun. I've been loving all the different trailers and posters for it too, because there's one of skeletons that look like they're doing let's just say favors for each other. And I thought that was that was fun. So I'm liking the spirit of this film. It's got a really something unique going on there, David. So so far I'm vibing with Bone Lake. We'll check it out. But a movie that so my buddy Connor and we're writing a new movie. I don't want to say what it is, but we're working on something together right now. And he just sent me a trailer for a movie that drops on September 12th. It's called Traumatica, and he's like, dude, this is kind of like the same vibe of like what I want to bring to this project. And I watched the trailer for this. Holy fuck, speak of the devil. I swear to God, he just texted me. That's so weird. We've been going back and forth all day about this. But Traumatica, if you haven't seen the trailer for this, holy shit, dude. I'm like, where has this movie been? This is awesome. It looks like a really cool vibe, really cool idea for a movie. Really scary stuff. Too. Some really scary images in that if you have not seen that trailer. Very good. Very interesting looking horror flick. That might be the movie I cover that weekend. A few things are coming out that weekend, but that might be the one I'm the most interested in. David, thank you for the $2 though, my friend. I'm really excited for Bone Lake. I'm going to have to watch the Run trailer, which as I just looked up, seems to have a big old monster with a big old dong. Thank you for the $2 though, my friend. Appreciate it. 2025 horror, man. That's what it's all about. Monster dong. Isaac Halverson is saying, hope everyone's doing well. What's up, Jake? I haven't made a live in a minute. I'm glad you're here, Isaac. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for talking a little horror, my dude. Pat and Jester also here too, saying, yo, Jake, finally able to join the stream after missing 3 in a row. That's all good. No worries. We're just glad you're here now. I've been really busy with school and wrestling and everything, so I'm glad I was able to join the stream today. Oh, wrestling. That's awesome. Rock on. I hope you're doing well in that. That's sick as fuck. I know, it's back to school season. A lot of people who have come through the channel have told us they're back in school. I think Shot by Shot, who's someone who joins in on occasion, is just started 8th grade. So I hope they're doing well. Good luck to them. But yeah, if you're back in school, let us know how it's going. It's tough. Trust me. I went to college. I went to all the different schools, the middle, the high. I was high in high school too, if I'm being real. But let us know let us know how that's going for you. I hope it's going well. And I hope your studies and higher education is, just you're soaking in some information. That's important as a human being. So hope that's going well for you for sure. What else is going on here? Looking for some more chats. I just hope Strangers Chapter 2 is going to be better because I'm not a fan of Chapter 1, says Mig on Tiv. I agree. I hope it's better. Chapter 1 was rock bottom, baby. I mean, like the bottom of the barrel. One of my least favorite slashers I've ever paid money in a theater to see. And, here's my thing. You can find worse stuff if you put on Tubi, but that's the risk you take when you go to Tubi. I love Tubi. Don't get me wrong now. I have seen some fucking weird shit on there that I never would have watched if I didn't have that platform. There is particularly a movie called what was the name of it? Pinocchio 961 or something like that. And it was this bizarre Japanese horror movie that I never had even heard of. And I'm so glad I watched it. But then you'll click on some stuff and you're like, yikes. I've seen some bad slashers on Tubi as well, which were holy shit. Kind of crazy, but you never know what you're going to get on Tubi. You know what I mean? That's the risk you take opening up that app on your TV. When I go to the theaters, I want to see something that's a little higher up than that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. That's my thoughts. But anyways, I think Strangers Chapter 2, it has to be better. It has to be a better film. I hope it's not dog shit again. I'm really rooting for it. Hey, Horror Queen is joining us. What's up, Queen? How you doing? Hey, Jake. Hey, chat. Hey, yo. Thanks for being here. Aim Punched is saying, Jake, do you think Eve killed Jason at the end of Sweet Revenge or the other way around? That's interesting. I feel like they're both kind of entities who, were resurrected by the lake. That's kind of the vibe I got from that short. And I don't know. I guess that's kind of the fun little cliffhanger we're on. The one thing I really did like about Sweet Revenge was some of the new ideas it implemented in there. It wasn't just Jason running around around killing people. It was a little more than that. I will give that short that. I was still a little mildly disappointed by it. It does kind of just feel like a hard cider commercial, but they tried some stuff. I just wish Mike P. Nelson got to do a full feature, because I think he had a pretty good, honestly, that short feels more to me like Mike P. Nelson is like, okay, so what if this happens and this happens, this happens, this happens, and then that's how it ends. That it feels more like Mike is pitching to me a Friday the 13th feature length movie rather than just a like a good short film. I would have rather have just seen like one killer scene of Jason running around chopping heads off or something versus the very fast pace just going through the plot of a new Friday film, like what it was. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but who won that fight? Probably Jason. Let's be honest. Eve is a really funny name, though, considering the hard cider thing. I think that's quite funny. Let me tell you. A Krenich throwing $2 out there. Thank you for the support, saying just chipping in. We appreciate you a ton for that. Means a lot. Thank you. Who else is with us? ASMR Ty is saying, hey, Jake, have you heard of Hell Motel slasher series? But it turned out so boring. Reminded me of the slasher series. That doesn't bode well. I was not crazy about Slasher, that show. I tried it out. I watched season 2. I randomly just picked a season because I heard it was like an anthology style thing. Man, I remember I had a day off years ago. And I just sat there and I watched all of season 2 on Netflix, and I was just like, that was bad. That's what I chose to watch with my day off. Brutal, dude. It had some good kills in it. That was the one thing I could give it, but was not crazy about it. Hell Motel, though, kind of something similar, huh? That's brutal. That's brutal. What horror movies have Madison seen this year? I don't even know. That this year has been a blur. Madison and I have just been so busy working on shit. Like, we've just been moving into this apartment and just taking care of things behind the scenes kind of thing. She hasn't, I'm trying to think what new horror movies we saw this year. We just watched, I'm totally blanking. We just watched Insidious and Insidious Chapter 2. We did a little rewatch of those, though. That was probably the last time her and I watched horror. Both very good movies, by the way. Will I be playing the Halloween game live when it comes out? Kyle Brandon asks. Abso-freaking-lutely over on the gaming channel. Which, by the way, this October, we have a lot of horror games coming out based on popular IPs. One of them is the Terrifier arcade game. Now, what's interesting about this game is there's a ton of different modes. There's like multiplayer, there's a single player story. I'm going to be making videos on all these different modes come this October. So definitely check out the gaming channel if you want to see coverage on the Terrifier game, the new Halloween game that's coming out next year. Resident Evil Requiem. We're definitely going to be covering that one. What else? The new Silent Hill game is also coming out soon too. Silent Hill F, definitely going to be covering all of these crazy new games. So please go subscribe to the gaming channel. It's going to be very fun over there. And in the meantime, I'm doing little updates in forms of shorts. So we got some fun stuff coming out over on that page. It's cool. Pretty cool. Oh, Patton Jester is saying, sorry, Jake, I'm not a wrestler, though I watch a shitload of WWE. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I thought you were like just doing some, I don't know. Thought you were doing some wrestling. I'm like, oh shit, okay, rock on. That's cool as fuck. No, but that's cool too. I never got into watching wrestling, although some of my buddies have. They've tried to get me into it. I watched wrestling with like my buddies one time for like 2 hours, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but that's a lot of sweaty men fighting each other. That's pretty fucking cool. So it's a vibe. It's fun. It's a fun thing to watch with friends, I feel. How are you, Jake? Asks Picky Piggy. I'm good today. It's hump day. We're halfway through the week. I'm definitely ready to chill a little bit though. It's been a wild month. I'm definitely ready for some R&R, watching some crazy horror movies and chilling. So, oh yeah, right. I remember that. Samantha Robinson saying, Jake, did you see the live action Courage the Cowardly Dog announcement? No, I must have missed that. That's exciting. Ooh. I'm all about that. We are kind of getting a live action Courage the Cowardly Dog movie on October 3rd with Good Boy. That's kind of what that movie is in a sense. Someone left me a comment on one of my shorts saying like, oh, we're finally getting the live action Courage the Cowardly Dog. I thought that was hilarious. Definitely kind of has the same vibe to it for sure. Ashley Morrow, what's up, Ashley? How are you? Why does Final Destination always end on a cliffhanger? Does it always end on a cliffhanger? I mean, it's kind of just the characters die. The characters are just dead. It's upsetting. It's brutal. It's a little cynical, but it's still fun. You know, I think that's what I like about Final Destination is everybody dies, but we're going to have fun doing it. So it's always been really cool about those movies to me. Shot by Shot is hanging out with us saying, Jake just got off school now to sit back, relax, and watch this lovely stream. Hopefully you had a good day, my friend. Good luck with 8th grade, and thanks for watching the stream, my dude. Appreciate you a ton. Riley Rage is saying, I wish that Bloodlines was a smaller film. The entire movie could have been the barbecue scene. Slow burn with the family drama anticipation, so they're all just dying at the barbecue, and they're not doing anything about it? Explain, Riley Rage. I'm curious. Aim Punched is saying we need a Chicken Man game. We need a Chicken Man feature before I do a game. Come on now. We're working on something that I feel like I can actually do with a lower budget right now. I'll say that. That's kind of what's the detractor from doing a Chicken Man feature. There's just like what I want to do with it. I need 1,000 different, not 1,000, but like a bunch of big set pieces, you know, a bunch of characters and stuff. It's really it's kind of a small town USA story is how I feel about it. It's got like it's inspired by Scream, but it's not the same thing, I think is what it is. It's a slasher terrorizing a small town, you know, kind of vibe, kind of like the original Scream, but definitely has its own thing going on. So hopefully one day we get to do it. But we need more money than a little tiny minuscule budget if we're going to do something like that. So we're working on something right now that I can do with a single location and a few actors, but it's still really fun, still really, still really terrifying, and I can't wait to hopefully bring it to life sometime soon. But I'll keep you guys updated on what the hell that's all about, hopefully sometime soon. Nerdy Mastermind is saying, when do you think we will hear real news about the next Halloween film, and what do you personally want to see? For me, I want the next film to be shot on film, actual film. I wouldn't mind a period piece either. I'm so with you, period piece all the way. I think they keep trying to do modernized Michael Myers, and I just feel like, you know, here's my thing. My favorite part of that entire new Halloween trilogy, and I say this with no exaggeration, no hyperbole, absolutely whatsoever, the best part of that entire trilogy is that flashback to 1978 where we recap the events of the original. Nothing had me more excited than that. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Oh my God. I think what we need to do is we need to do another movie that takes place in 1978, Michael Myers running around killing people in Haddonfield. Brand new story with new characters in the same town, late 70s setting, period piece. But try to recreate the vibe of Carpenter while telling a new story. It's kind of similar to what's going on with Alien Earth, but I gotta be honest, Alien Earth is really losing me in that 4th episode, man. But besides that, I feel like what I do like about the show, the thing that's really compelling me to keep watching, is the fact that they've kind of recreated the vibe of Ridley Scott's Alien, but applied a totally new story to it. The same thing I feel should happen with Halloween. Michael Myers breaks out again, you know, kind of same old setup, but with different characters. He doesn't go, you know, Laurie Strode is never in his path. We're following all new people in the 70s with a whole new situation. That could be interesting to me. I'd be very into that movie. You know, give me that blue light in the darkness. Give me that fucking iconic score from the original John Carpenter movie. Maybe a little update on it, whatever. But I think where the nostalgia should be is recreating the vibe rather than bringing back the characters or making nods to previous plot lines and movies, like how, you know, the most recent trilogy just did. Finding the nostalgia in just recreating the vibe like the same way that original movie did, that's how you could do something successful with this franchise moving forward. That wouldn't just be a, you know, rinse and repeat of what we just got from the last 3 movies. I like the idea of setting it in the 70s, brand new characters that maybe we could follow throughout a whole new trilogy. Fine, fuck it. But it would be a different setup for a different kind of movie. I don't think we need Laurie Strode. I think we've tried to tell that story a million times and have probably kind of failed every single time. Just give me new characters at this point with Michael Myers running around. Maybe someone else playing Dr. Loomis, which is maybe a hot take, but I love that relationship. That's just too much fun. We got to have somebody running around screaming, I shot him 6 times. We got to have that. Come on now. Did I watch Gamescom, Jake? I did not. I totally missed out on that. I'm going to be honest. I'm covering too many things. Covering far too many things. ASMR Ty is saying, you'd think that Jake would like 2001 WWF because Limp Bizkit was involved music-wise for WrestleMania. I am a big Limp Bizkit fan, unironically. It's it's wild. Mr. Rick is saying, just curious if you checked the message yet on Instagram. I'm so sorry, dude. I have so much going on. I totally forgot. I'm actually going to look at it right now. You sent me a message on Instagram about something. Let's check this out. Let's give this a look. Mr. Rick. I think you're just Rick on here. Yes, okay. Yeah, I forgot you wanted to get on do some kind of video. Well, we're doing a podcast now on the show, which is real fun. So we'll definitely have some guests on. I will message you some details about that, and we will get to it. I'm hoping to get this first podcast out this weekend. No promises, but hopefully I can make that happen. Would be fun. And I will let you know about future recordings and fun stuff like that. Do I think that Scream 7 will end on a cliffhanger? No, we know the ending of Scream 7. Sydney is going to be alive, and she's likely going to kill Ghostface. So I'm honestly completely straying away from the cliffhanger thing now. I don't think it's going to happen after what Kevin Williamson said. And I know, yeah, that cliffhanger doesn't necessarily involve Sydney dying, but if a cliffhanger is reliant on the danger still being out there, I feel like that would be tough to do a cliffhanger with a protagonist who can't die. I don't know. I just don't think that would work. I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like it's got to end with. I feel like it's just impossible to do a cliffhanger now in Scream with that information. I just feel like you can't do that and still build tension. I don't know. Maybe you could do something where Ghostface is still out there, the mystery is unsolved, but like, wouldn't we kind of figure it out at a certain point, right? I feel like we would kind of, or something would leak. I mean, this is a production that is terrified of things leaking to the point that they're just announcing some of their big surprises before it happens. You think they're going to give us like 2 years or like a year and a half to kind of get things figured out? And then we likely will have it figured out. I'm really straying away from the cliffhanger thing. I really don't think it's going to happen. And that bums me out because I think it would be fun. I think it would be awesome to do a cliffhanger, but I just don't know what you could do cliffhanger wise to keep us like on our toes, to be like, oh shit, what just happened? You can't pretend to kill a character because we know, I know Sydney's not going to die. That's just that you can't do that. If you have a character, if you have a Ghostface who's unsolved and it's still one of the remaining surviving characters, we're either going to figure it out or it's going to leak. And this production's already terrified of that. They've proven that to us just within the last year. I don't know. What else could you do? I guess you could maybe pretend to kill Gale, and see, I don't know. Maybe that's the specific route they've gone, but I doubt I'm doubting the cliffhanger nowadays. I was kind of, throwing it around a little bit on these streams. I don't think it's going to happen. I hate to say it too. Jake, do you ever watch the Gallows or The Visit guilty pleasures, in my opinion? The Gallows has one of the most terrifying shots in all of found footage. It's something I'm going to die. That's a hill I'm going to die on. But the movie itself, I just don't think is very good. I love that one scene where the girl is like crying in the corner and you start to see the dude like creep up behind her. That is fucking excellent tension building. Ooh, 10 out of 10. But the rest of the movie, whatever. But very solid stuff there. The Visit, however, I do really like. I think that's a very fun. What's really interesting about The Visit to me is that it mixes comedy and found footage horror together really well, very seamlessly, and it works really well for me for that reason. I like that mixture. It feels very fresh for when that movie came out, and I think other movies came later on that were more like comedy found footage, kind of found a way to merge those two things. Great example is Deadstream. If you guys haven't seen that movie, excellent flick, ton of fun with that one. But The Visit, without that movie, I don't know if you would have something like Deadstream nowadays, or just a lot of the stuff from Joseph and Vanessa Winter, which is the two big things they've done so far is comedy, horror, found footage. What else is going on here? Who else is with us? We got Kill the Credits saying, how would we feel if Final Destination 7 opened with Stephanie coming out of a premonition and preventing her and Charlie from dying via train crash / log truck? Then they have to find Kimberly to try and stop death. I honestly wouldn't, I wouldn't be opposed. I really wouldn't be opposed to that, but I feel like you still have to ultimately kill Stephanie and Charlie. That's my one thing about it. Like, they could do that setup, but the entire movie, I'd be thinking to myself, if these two characters don't die, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know about this. My thing about Final Destination that I love so much is that it always ends on a dark note. Even Final Destination 2. Yeah, we have characters survive, but the last scene of that movie is like, oh no, this is still dark. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're still going to go the dark route with this. But that's what makes it stand out from all of these other franchises. I mean, let's be, again, let's just be totally real here. Final Destination, and Scream and all of these other like late 90s, early thousands properties, they all have a very similar feel to them. But what makes Final Destination stand out? It always ends with characters fucking dying. It's like, whoa, that's a shock coming from literally everything else. That's what makes Final Destination stand out. Don't take that away from don't take that very fun thing away from this franchise, that these characters are just always going to die at the end. I'd be okay with Stephanie and Charlie coming back and kind of setting up the next movie, essentially getting us to the character of Kimberly Corman. They literally got that knowledge in the previous film from Bloodworth. I could get into that, but if they don't actually die before the end credits roll, I would be upset. I'd be like, well, now you've just kind of ruined Bloodlines. You've retroactively ruined what was one of my favorite parts of that movie, was the fact that they committed to the bid. Final Destination Bloodlines feels like it came out 2 years after 5. It doesn't feel like they skipped a beat. If they did something like, keeping these characters alive throughout a whole new trilogy, well, that just feels like modern horror. And what was the standout factor to Bloodlines is that it feels like it came right out of the early 2010s again. Doesn't feel like it skipped a beat. And I really wouldn't want to lose that about Bloodlines. That is one of the strongest elements in that film's corner. Don't take that away from it. Max Black is saying, I love Alien Earth, but it's just too long. I feel like the first 2 episodes, where I loved them for being like this really bizarre new story, and capturing that same vibe of the Ridley Scott movie, I feel like it's kind of just, it's kind of not that's the wrong word. It feels aimless where I'm at right now with it. Like, it just kind of feels like it's bouncing around in its little story. Just kind of, episode 4 almost felt like filler. Like, it was this close to filler to me. And I'm just like, what happened? This started off so strong. What's going on in these last 2 episodes? But 3 and 4, they were okay. I don't know. Austin Daniels is here saying, hello, Jake. It's been a minute since I've been able to catch a stream. Thanks for being here, Austin. I'm really excited for Scream 7, and unlike 5 and 6, I haven't been keeping up with the news with this movie. Less I know, the better. I mean, that's probably for the better, man. I'll be honest. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, unfortunately. There's things I know about Scream 7 that I will not share on live streams, that I'm not bummed that I know these things, but it's like I know some things to expect. But I will say, all the stuff that I won't tell you guys is all positive notes in my book. That's what I'll say. The stuff I can't share with you guys is stuff that has me excited for the film. So if I seem a little too excited based on just rumors and little inklings of information that are coming through, well, there's a reason for that, because there's stuff I can't share. But there's one thing in particular that I absolutely, no matter how many times you guys message me online about it, I will not say. And I gotta say, man, it's something very positive. Like, it's something I'm actually really like, okay, that fucking rocks. Thank God. But I will not say any more than that. But there's a very, very, very good thing that I'm not sharing with you guys. That's all I'm going to say. Austin, you're also saying the Gallows got bad reviews, but I liked it. And yes, to that shot. If you've seen the movie, the one, so chilling. It is the best part of that whole movie. Honest to God, I think because they put that, I think that's in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Austin, that is like why that movie got a sequel, because of that one shot. It was so good. Critical Overlord is with us asking, what are those things? You already know what those things are, man. I know you know what those things are. If I've seen it, you've definitely seen it. I'll message you after this. I'm actually curious what your thoughts are on it. So I'll shoot you a little message. What else is going on here? Samantha's saying, hey, Jake, I personally feel like they should kill Sydney and have her pass the torch to her daughter, Tatum. Honestly, they have too many people trying to kill Sydney at this point. Samantha, the reason I'm okay with it for this movie, for this one movie, is because I think that they're going to have, that's going to be like a focal commentary piece in the film. I honestly, in Critical Overlords here, he can attest to this. I think it would be really cool if like basically what the motive was for our killers was that like all these people just want to go after Sidney Prescott. They want to bring her out of her comfort, her happy ending essentially, and kill her because they want to be the ghost faces to do it, to finally take down Sidney Prescott, this shining light against the evil essentially. So I think that would just be a really cool direction to take the franchise down. That would be such a very fresh meta motive for a Ghostface killer. And it would be kind of commentary on the film itself. You know what I mean? It's like we're bringing back Sidney Prescott again. There's this very obvious like, what? Like we've told that story already. Like why are we going back to this character? I feel like the film knows that, and it's going to, kind of push a reason for why. And I think one of those things could be the motive of Ghostface is they're bringing Sidney out of her happy ending. We're ripping that away from her. We're going to try at least. And we're going to come after her fucking kids. Like that's scary to me. That's cool. That's a cool idea. It's meta. And it totally hits on, the situation we've been covering on this page for the last 2 years. So I would be very into a motive like that. That would impress me. Have I seen From, asks Paul Bradley. Dude, I have not, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like so many people, including my friend Fate Decided, have just said that is such an excellent show. I got to watch it. So definitely got to see that for sure. Wes Carpenter Flicks is saying, I'm thinking the cliffhanger is still on. It's not about Sydney. It's about her whole life as it is now. They said there's going to be a lot of character building in 7 and suspense, so that you care who dies. I don't think the cliffhanger is going to happen. I don't think Kevin Williamson would say that if there was a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like if I'm doing a cliffhanger for one of these movies, I'm putting my main character that we've been following the whole time in peril. Like just bottom line. How else can you do it? I don't know. To me, it's just like, it feels like a missed opportunity not to do that. And if there's no way Sidney Prescott is going to die, why would you take it down that direction? It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there's something I'm losing in translation there, but if I'm doing a cliffhanger to just a movie in general, I'm thinking I have to have to a horror movie in general, I should say. I got to have my main character in some sort of peril and some sort of potential to lose their life. I don't know. I don't see it happening, or at the very least, I don't see it working. I don't see it working very well. Moving into an 8th film. Jerry Wilson is with us. Hello, Jerry. How are you? What's up? What else is going on? Sean P. Tattoos is saying, hey, Jake, can you stay on for 10 more minutes while I drive to work? I like having something to listen to in the car. Yes, of course. And if not, I'll just play some I don't know, maybe some Evanescence or something on here and just get a copyright claim. Fuck it. Critical Overlord is saying, ironically, I'm excited about what happens with Stu. I think I am too, if my information is correct. I think I too am happy with what happens with Stu. Flamingo Productions is saying, actually, funny thing, that creepypasta word Pinkie Pie torches rain. You're just saying a bunch of words at this point. It's kind of like the scene in Terrifier 3 where Art tortures a mall Santa. I think you're just saying a bunch of words. What? Pinkie Pie torches Rainbow Dash. The fuck what is happening there? Kill the Credits is saying, definitely a fair point. I think tethering them together that way could be cool, but I agree. Ultimately, they have to go. I forgot what we've been talking about way too many things, man. I don't know what's going on anymore. Yeah, the other thing I will say about Scream 7, thing I'm excited for is I really feel like they're going to do something different with the way Ghostface is revealed this time around. And that's something that I think could be really exciting, could make this one different. Again, I want surprises. This is Scream. You know what I mean? You go back to that original film, there's surprises across the board. From the opening scene is a major surprise. We have Casey Becker getting stabbed, and it's like they marketed the movie as being a Drew Barrymore film, basically. She's like the biggest, she's top billing, essentially. And then we kill her off in the opening scene. That's a big shock. That's a big surprise. And it's just like, oh my God, what? Where's this movie going to go now? In the best way possible, you have no idea what's what's going to happen next. And that to me is what I want more than anything from Scream, is that big surprise no matter what. I think Scream 2 was able to find that with Randy's death, which is awesome. I think Scream 5 was able to find that with Dewey's death. It's just like they would never kill a legacy character, and then they did. What can Scream 7 do to make it shocking and surprising? What can we do to kind of find a way to find something else to just really pull the wool over franchise fans' eyes, who are very keen to figuring things out, looking for the Easter eggs and all that fun stuff. Kingston Review Games is saying, I've started a new murder mystery show, 9 Puzzle, hoping I can figure out the killer or killers this time. That's always, I love when I can't figure it out. That to me is always the best. I don't want to know before the reveal. I want it to totally fool me. Michael C is with us saying, hi, Jake. How are you doing? I'm fantastic. I'm friggin' fantastic. How are you, Michael? Welcome in. Shot by Shot is saying, Jake, are you excited for the Toxic Avenger? Yes. Oh my God, I'm excited for it. It's got some crazy good reviews. It looks disgusting, and I am so into that, my friend. I've only seen the first one, but I'm super excited for this new one coming out. The first one is definitely the best so far. I will say that. 2 and 3 were shot at the same time, and you can tell. You can tell that was supposed to be one long movie. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, the first Toxic Avenger is that's where it's at. I hope this one is able to do something modern and fun. Austin is saying, I'm really happy to hear you like the sounds of Scream 7. This movie has a lot against it, but also a lot going for it. And I think so, and I think the big thing that's won me over with this film is I go back and I look at all the sequels, and all of them have a shortcoming in some way, shape, or form, but I still enjoy them. Still enjoy watching all of them across the board. And I feel like I'm going to think the same thing about Scream 7. I know I'm coming out of that theater with something about this that is not going to work, but hopefully the rest of it is pretty fucking good, you know? I have my complaints. Y'all have heard me bitch about Screams 5 and 6, some of the things I don't like about those movies, but I'll also sing their praises because there's also things about both of those movies that stand out from the other films. And it's like, wow, they were able to do that in this franchise. Some of this other stuff didn't work, but I really like this stuff right here. This stuff's pretty good. So I'm thinking the same thing is going to happen with Scream 7. I'm just going to be honest, especially with some of the things I'm hearing that are some of the bigger points of it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's going to work for me. That's not going to work for me. And hopefully we kind of meet in the middle on just another fun sequel. I think anyone expecting a film that's as good as the original just has way too high expectations. Anyways, that's another big thing. That's another point I feel I've really changed my vibe on since that. Since we've been kind of talking about Scream 7 since the announcement, how can we possibly expect a film that's as good as the original Scream? It's too perfect. It's too perfect of a film for the time it came out, what it was able to accomplish. I'm just like, whatever Scream 7 is, as long as they're able to do something fresh and fun with the series, I'll fucking vibe with it. Shot by Shot is saying, should I wear my full Scream cosplay to Scream 7? Yes, absolutely. Official Mig on Tiv is saying, I don't know anything about the Toxic Avenger, so I don't know if I should give this new one a try. I mean, if you want to see I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it, because like it's not a superhero movie, but he's got like a superhero vibe to him. It's kind of like he's this monster that does good. You know, he's like actually a good guy. But he's killing the bad guys in brutal, vicious, and gory ways. So if you're kind of into that kind of thing, I would recommend it. I really like the original. It is one of those like just weirdly iconic films that I think does something really unique. There's nothing quite else like it. If you want to get a sense of just what trauma is all about, I feel like the Toxic Avenger is such a great place to start. I think it's really controversial and definitely not for everybody, but I don't know what this new one's clearly doing something different, something a little more updated, maybe a little more palpable and digestible. So check it out, give it a shot. Because the other thing that's really cool about this movie is they're donating a bunch of the proceeds, the profits, I should say, to charity, which is really fucking cool. And I don't know, this movie's got a good vibe about it that I really like. So I think it could be like a sleeper hit of the year. It also was rotting on a shelf just a year ago. It wasn't going to be released by the studio, and somehow Cineverse was able to pick it up, which I think is just really fucking cool. So I think more than anything, even if I wasn't interested in this movie, which trust me, I am, I would go support this one because it's like, this was a movie that was going to just rot on a shelf and fucking die somewhere and never be heard of again. And it's not like the War of the Worlds movie that just came out where like that's the fate it should have gotten. This is clearly something very fun and very special. special. Just from the few little things I've seen of it, if it's the little clips, the trailer, the pictures, the monster dong. I mean, this is going to be something horror fans who like something a little more outrageous are definitely going to vibe with, I feel. So if you can support this movie this weekend, you really should. That's what I'll say. If you can't make it out to the theater, no worries there, but it would be really cool to make it out to if there's any movie you should support for the rest of the year, it's absolutely this one. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, so Toxic Avenger is a true lethal protector. Venom would be proud. I mean, he's got like the whole vibe of he's this person that was, had some awful things happen to him. In the original movie, he's just like a dork who gets bullied. And then he falls into a vat of toxic goo and has superpower. He's super strong now, but he looks deformed and what's the word for it? Just like his face is all melted, skin is green, kind of thing. So it's a really interesting tragic hero kind of vibe to it that I feel like is really effective in the original movie, and I think it's also going to work really well here. So I don't know, I'm hyped for it. I can't wait. Have I ever watched the anime Another? I have not. I've really only watched a few horror animes, and that was kind of, I had a phase, and then I have not gone back to it. But what did I watch? I watched Death Note. I watched a little bit of Hunter x Hunter. I watched almost all of Attack on Titan. I still haven't finished that. Some other Jujutsu Kaisen too. That was another one I watched. I watched there was like a little period of my life where I was just like really into that shit, and then I haven't gone back to it. I bought tickets for Toxic Avenger on Friday. Ready to nut, says Villain Killin' Dylan. Hell yes. I think Terrifier fans especially are going to like this one. That's the kind of the vibe from a lot of the from a lot of the marketing. Looks like a lot of fun, man. I'm definitely hyped for this. You're going to see the new one tomorrow, though. I'm excited, says Kill the Credits. Hell yes. Very good stuff. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, did you see they posted the HHN food? Also, the team members got their own private HHN night. They got their own like private scare night. That's awesome. It's happening. HHN season is here. Thanks for rubbing it in. No, I'm kidding. I can't make it out this year. I'm bummed, but I really wish. I hope everybody has a ton of fun. I think it's going to be the best one yet, if I'm being totally honest. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream a little early tonight. Unfortunately, we did not make our goal, and old Jake has got some stuff to do. So I got to get to it, but we will be live again on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, this stream on Friday, you really do not want to miss. We are ranking the deaths from the Terrifier franchise, from all three movies. And you would think in only three movies, there may only be a few like big deaths. Oh no. Pretty much all of the Terrifier deaths are something brutal, something really fucking cool. So definitely stop on by that stream this Friday. It's going to be a fun one. Maybe one of the best tier list streams we've had so far. So don't miss it. It's going to be a blast. Also, later on tonight, late tonight, we're going to be playing the new mode on Fortnite for The Conjuring. So it's some sort of Conjuring horror mode. I'm really excited for that. So that's happening later on the gaming channel tonight, as well as another stream over there tomorrow night. We're playing Uno. Friendships and relationships are going to be tested. So lots of streams happening across both pages in the next 2 days. Definitely do not miss those. So I will see some of you later on tonight over on GullGotha. Make sure to subscribe and check out that stream. And as always, guys, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.